So I'm going to show you how to create a snapshot for your database. It's pretty darn straightforward. We're going to go into our database, go to our maintenance and backups. If we had backups, they would be turned on here. And so just to take a snapshot, which is the manual process of backing up, we can name our snapshot whatever we want. So I can just say first snapshot there. Okay, and then we'll just press take snapshot. And it's just going to go from into a creating state, and we're just going to now wait for that snapshot to complete. So our snapshot is now available to us, and so there's a few things we can do with it. This only took about 7 minutes. I didn't wait that long for the snapshot here. But if we go to the top here to actions, there's a few things we can do. We can restore our snapshots. So that's the first thing we're going to look at here. And so you're going to be presented with a bunch of options to pretty much spin up a new Rds instance here. And so the reason why you might want to do this is you have a database and you have outrun or outlived the size that you're currently using. So if you're using that T2 micro, which is super small here, we'll just show T3 micro here as an example, and you wanted to increase to the next size, you would do so, and you could also switch to multi-AZ, change your storage type here, etc., and then you could restore it, which will spin up a new RDS instance, okay? And then you would just kill your old one and move your endpoints over to this one, all right? So that's one thing we can do here with restoring a snapshot. The other is migrating a snapshot, okay? And so we'll look into that next here. So just before we get onto a migrate snapshot, let's take a look at copy and share. So copy allows you to move your snapshot to another region. So if you need to migrate your snapshot somewhere else, this is how you're going to go about doing that. And then you can also enable encryption. So if you don't have encryption enabled, this is a good opportunity for you to encrypt your snapshot. So when you launch your RDS instance, it will be encrypted, okay? Just like an EC2 instance. And so then we have the ability to share. So now let's say you wanted to make this snapshot available to other people via other AWS accounts. Well, you'd add their ID here. And so now they would be able to reference that snapshot ID and utilize it. You could also set it to public so that anyone could access the snapshot. But we're just going to leave that alone just so you are aware of those two options. Now, the one that is of most interest is Migrate. And so this is how you're going to create an Aurora database, okay? So you can just directly create an Aurora database, but if you wanted to migrate from your RDS Postgres to Aurora Postgres, this is how you're going to go about it, okay? So we're just going to choose obviously Aurora Postgres because we're dealing with the Postgres database here. Then we have our engine version, okay? So this is an opportunity where we could upgrade our version. We're going to change our instance class. Now, Aurora instances are a lot larger than your normal RDS instances, so we're not gonna have a T2 micro here. You might wanna skip this step because it is kind of expensive and you might forget about it. So you don't want to leave this thing running. So down below, I'm going to just choose T2 medium because that is the least expensive option I have here. And I'm just going to end up deleting this anyway, so it's not a big deal. Then we can choose our VPC. We're going to leave it to the default here. We can make it publicly accessible. I'm going to leave it publicly accessible here because I don't care. Yeah, so there you go. And we'll just scroll down here and we will migrate, okay? And so you might get a complaint here. Sometimes I get that. And so what I normally do is I just go ahead and hit migrate again. Okay. Let me just drop down the version. Maybe it won't let us do it for version 10.6. Okay. And we'll hit migrate once more time. It's funny, as soon as you choose 10.7, you have to re-choose your instance class there. So we'll go back to T3 medium there and now hit migrate. Okay. And so now it's going to go ahead and create that cluster there. So it's going to go ahead and create that cluster. You can see here that we had two previous failed attempts there when I hit save there. So those will vanish, but we're just going to wait a while for this to spin up. So our migration has completed, and so our RDS instance is now running on Aurora. So let's just take a quick peek inside of here. It did take a considerable amount of time. I think I was waiting about like 20 minutes for this Aurora instance to get up here. And so right away, you're going to see that we have a cluster, and then we have the writer underneath. We have 2 endpoints, one for writing and one for reading. And you can obviously create your own custom endpoints here. But we're just going to go back here, and I just want to show you that you can connect to this database. So going back to Table Plus, we're going to create a new connection, and it inherited all the settings from our previous database. So just grabbing the reader endpoint here, I'm just going to paste in the host name. We called the user was Postgres. The password was Postgres. Not a very secure password, by the way. The database is called Babylon 5. Okay, and we'll just say this is our Aurora Babylon 5. Babylon 5. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time spelling that today. Okay. I think I spelt it wrong there. Oh, okay. But anyway, let's just test our connection to see here if it works. Definitely I've spelt something wrong here. Okay. And there we go. So it's the same credentials, right? Just the host has changed, and I can obviously connect to that, and we will see, we'll have read-only access to our data there. So yeah, it's the same process. Yeah, and there you go. So just to peek around here, you can create additional readers. So you have more read replicas. We also have this option for activity stream, which is for auditing all the activity. So this might be for an enterprise requirement there for you, but we're pretty much done with this cluster here. So I'm just going to go to databases here, and I'm just going to terminate it here. And so when we want to terminate that here, we're going to go down here and just delete, and we just type in delete me. Okay, and that's going to take out the whole thing here. Okay, so once this is done here, we'll just have to hit refresh there, and this will take a considerable amount of time. See, it's deleting both. Then this Aurora will be gone here. So yeah, there you are.